The boardroom went completely silent the moment Marcus Reed stood up, janitor's uniform glaring against the sea of tailored suits. Heart hammering like a drum in his ears, he looked straight at the CEO, Olivia Grant. "Don't sign the $4.2 billion merger," he said, voice steadier than he expected. Cameras flashed outside, reporters buzzing for the biggest acquisition in years. Olivia's pen hovered over the contract, tension crackling in the air. Security moved toward Marcus, but Olivia raised a hand. "Everyone out. Except him." "Yeah, that happened. And it all started the night before." Marcus had been cleaning those same marble halls for 18 months now. The quiet after hours, no polished shoes, no forced smiles, that silence was honest. Walking past the conference room, he noticed the lights still on. Olivia was there, alone, leaning over a mountain of papers. Marcus paused. Her posture reminded him of his daughter, Sophie, bent over homework at their tiny kitchen table. A pang hit him. Sophie was 9, waiting for Mrs. Walker to watch her until Marcus finished his shift. He glanced at his watch. Had to be quick. As he rolled past, August knocked a stack of papers off the table with a clatter, followed by Olivia's frustrated sigh. Old habit kicked in. He knocked softly. "Excuse me, ma'am. Should I come back later?" Her head snapped up, startled like she forgot anyone else existed here. "No, it's fine. Come in." Her voice had that edge, interrupted mid-thought. Marcus stepped in, bending to pick up the scattered papers. That's when he saw it. A spreadsheet with highlighted columns, employee numbers across divisions, but one section caught his eye like a red flare. Post-merger layoffs. Thousands of jobs marked for cutting after the TechCore acquisition, including his entire janitorial team. His breath hitched. He ran through his mind the medical bills stacked on his kitchen counter, the overdue rent, Sophie's insulin refill next week. Everything he'd fought to keep stable was about to collapse again. "Thanks," Olivia said, reaching for the papers. But Marcus held back, eyes locked on the numbers. She followed his gaze, realization dawned. "That's confidential," she said, voice hardening. "Sorry," Marcus muttered, handing over the papers with a practiced blank look, the look of a man who'd fallen hard before. As he turned to leave, Olivia stopped him. "You're Marcus, right? Night shift janitor?" He blinked, surprised she knew. "Yes, ma'am." She nodded once, dismissing him. "Good night." Marcus finished his shift on autopilot, mind racing. By dawn, he'd made a decision. This wasn't just about him anymore. It was about every family caught in the crossfire while executives collected bonuses. Some things were worth risking everything for. He still had one weapon from his old life. Marcus had been a Wall Street analyst before the fall, a guy who knew how deals like this worked and what they really cost. The signing day arrived in a storm of media and guarded entrances. But Marcus, familiar from maintenance, slipped in through the back unnoticed. Changing into his uniform, hand shaking slightly, he pulled from his pocket a list, names, years of service, families depending on them. The human cost hidden behind spreadsheets. Would Olivia care? Probably not. But he had to try. For Sophie, for himself, for the part of him that broke the last time he stayed silent. In the boardroom, he slipped in 5 minutes before the signing. Invisible to most, he stood by the water cooler, watching congratulations and handshakes. Olivia sat at the head, flawless in navy, copper hair pulled back tight, confident but visibly tense. Her eyes flicked nervously to James, the CFO, hovering like a shadow. When the contract hit the table, hesitation in Olivia's hands gave Marcus his moment. He stepped forward as the room went still. Olivia's voice was low, controlled. "You have 1 minute to explain why I shouldn't have you arrested for disrupting this meeting." Marcus met her gaze. "Because you already know something's wrong. I saw your hesitation." He laid the roster on the table. For 1,722 people, not just numbers, but lives, families, mortgages, medical bills. The savings projected? Built on gutting workers while padding executive bonuses. Her eyes narrowed, calculating. How would a janitor know this? Marcus swallowed. "Before I pushed this cart, I analyzed mergers at Goldman Sachs. I refused to sign off on a deal like this 3 years ago." Olivia's expression flickered. She skimmed the roster, frowning. "Even if that's true, the board approved this unanimously. These papers are waiting for my signature." "Look deeper," Marcus said. "TechCore is overvalued by at least 30%. Their R&D is empty. I found the reports in the recycling bin. They're selling you a ghost, and your board knows it. The color drained from Olivia's face. That's a serious accusation. Marcus nodded. One I'm willing to lose my job over. Silence stretched. Then Olivia hit the intercom. Postpone signing 24 hours. No questions. She turned to him. Tonight, 8 p.m. My penthouse. Bring your evidence. Waste my time, and you'll never work in this city again. Security escorted Marcus out, the weight of what he'd done pressing down. Job or no, he crossed a line on the bus home. He called Mrs. Walker to watch Sophie longer. At his small apartment, he dug out an old laptop, dust-covered but alive. The skills hadn't left him. By 7:30, he'd pieced together the proof. At Olivia's penthouse, he was surprised when she personally let him in. The elevator ride was quiet, full of second-guessing, his sanity, his courage, confronting one of Chicago's most powerful women. The penthouse was breathtaking and oddly empty, floor-to-ceiling windows, a cityscape sprawling beneath. But minimal furnishings, no warmth. Olivia stood by the window, amber drink in hand, business attire still crisp. Show me what you've got, she said. No small talk, numbers, discrepancies, hidden liabilities. Marcus walked her through every detail. She challenged, questioned, connected dots. Hours flew. For a moment, the gulf between their lives shrank. His phone rang. Mrs. Walker, Sophie's fever had spiked. I have to go, Marcus said, grabbing his things. My daughter's sick. Olivia's mask dropped briefly. Is it serious? Type 1 diabetes. Blood sugar unstable. He was halfway out when Olivia called. Wait, I'll drive you. He barely protested as she grabbed keys and coat. The CEO and janitor in a luxury SUV, heading to a worn-down apartment building, a scene he never imagined. 20 silent minutes later, they arrived at peeling paint and a brick holding open the security door. Marcus's shame flared, but he refused to apologize for this life. Thanks for the ride, he said, moving to leave. But Olivia surprised him, shutting off the engine, unbuckling. I'm coming in. If Sophie needs care, I can help. The apartment was small, neat, every corner organized by a single parent's discipline. Mrs. Walker's confusion was clear seeing Olivia in designer clothes. Then Sophie whimpered. Marcus rushed in. Fever, disoriented, glucose dangerously high. We need the hospital, Marcus said, chest tightening. Olivia offered to call an ambulance. Marcus shook his head, deductible too high. Insurance lapsed. He drove. Olivia's look said she understood. I'm taking you both. Minutes later, speeding through night streets, Marcus held Sophie bundled in a blanket. At the hospital, Olivia quietly negotiated. They were fast-tracked to a private room. Doctors arrived swiftly. Hours passed. Sophie stabilized. As dawn broke, she slept peacefully. In a quiet corner, exhausted, Marcus finally asked, Why help us? Olivia looked down. Maybe I'm tired of decisions made without seeing the cost. Or I wanted to know how someone goes from Wall Street to janitor. Marcus began his story, a rising star at Goldman, specializing in tech mergers. For years ago, he'd found irregularities, massive layoffs disguised as synergy. Told supervisors. They told him to fix numbers, not the deal. He refused. Then his wife Laura was diagnosed with cancer. Medical bills piled up, a terrified 6-year-old daughter. He chose family over principles, revised analysis. The deal went through. Thousands lost jobs. He kept his position 6 more months, then was let go after Laura died. No severance, insurance canceled, reputation wrecked. Bitter truth in his voice. The universe has a twisted sense of justice. Olivia was silent, then said, And yet, you still spoke up. Marcus glanced towards Sophie's room. Maybe she needed to know her dad could still do the right thing, even when it's hard. Olivia nodded. I built my career being tougher, smarter, more ruthless than anyone. My father said sentiment is weakness in business. But lately, what's the point if I lose myself? Light spilled through hospital windows. I never saw the Marcus reads of my decisions until now. By afternoon, Sophie was well enough to leave. Bills? Taken care of. Olivia handed Marcus a card with her personal number. Take a few days off with Sophie. Your job's safe. I want to keep talking. Professional mask back, but something had shifted. Sophie looked at Olivia. Will you come visit again? Olivia smiled, real, warm. I like that. Days passed in a surreal calm until 5 days later. News exploded. The TechCore deal was unraveling. Olivia was questioning the whole thing. Then Marcus's phone rang. Olivia's voice tight. They're coming after you. CFO found out you accessed files. Police report for espionage. Don't leave. Heavy knocking shook the apartment. 2 cops with a warrant. Handcuffed, Marcus caught Sophie's terrified face. Mrs. Walker held her tight. It'll be okay, sweetheart. Call Olivia. Hours blurred, interrogation, isolation. Exhaustion clawed at him. Then the door opened. Ollie,